Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Newsroom series today. We're focusing on Newsroom Southwest. I'm Olumide Macaulay. And as announced earlier, some parts of the Third Mainland Bridge will be closed from midnight. Third Mainland Bridge, obviously in Lagos State, Southwest Nigeria. Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Mrs. Olukorede Kesha, was our guest today on the morning brief, where she revealed that the temporary closure of the bridge will help in carrying out of comprehensive repairs on the bridge. Mrs. Kesha explained that repairs will take about 6 months and a strategic traffic management approach to facilitate smoother vehicular movement from 12 noon to 12 a.m. with a subsequent reversal in traffic flow from 12 a.m. to 12 noon between the island and the mainland in Lagos during peak hours and reversing the direction during the night in order to reduce congestion and improve overall traffic flow.
Initially, we were to have what we routine maintenance on Third Mainland Bridge before the advent of this new administration, and they looked at it that what this bridge deserves now is more than a routine maintenance. It's a comprehensive maintenance, comprehensive repairs, both on the upper elements and then the under elements, and that's what they did. So it was awarded, and then we started promptly. The forums have been dealt with. We said it would take 6 weeks. We didn't take more than that. We trashed that one out. Now we now want to do the main bridge deck that goes to Island, and then the one that comes from Island. And because we do not want to multiply the inconvenience that is going to cost the motoring public, we have decided to face it. That was why we tackled the ramp first. We did all the ramps first, while we allow motorists to use the main deck. The contractor has the capacity to do the all at the same time, but we said no. The inconvenience will be unimaginable. So let's split it, let's face it, to reduce the inconvenience. It will take about 3 months, it will have been done. 3 months, because they have capacity. They will just bring multiple gangs. As one gang is here, one gang is there, but we said no, we can't afford to do that. We don't have many of such roads in Lagos. The population is growing by the minute, so and infrastructure is not matching up with the pace of growth. So we said, okay, let's do that. And that was why during the Yuletide period, we had to leave the bridge because we're sensitive to what is happening around us. So we left, then we said, okay, let's come back now. Business is a bit low now, things are just gearing up towards taking off. So we said, let's start now. So now we want to start with the bound going to the island from Iyano, and it's going to take us about 6-7 weeks.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State government has asked residents to see the waterways as a viable option and reduce the traffic congestion on the road, especially now that the Third Mainland Bridge will be closed for repairs. The managing director of Lagos State Ferry Services made this comment when he spoke to Channels Television at the 5 Cowries Terminal Falomo Ikoyi. Lag Ferry organized a boat cruise for Waterways passengers and to also attract more people on the route.
Water transportation is one of the fastest means of commuting, and some residents of Lagos, particularly those living on the island and the Ikorodu area of the state, have made it a regular option to ply the waterways just to get to their destinations as fast as possible. The Lagos State Ferry Services has brought together some Waterways passengers, as well as those who are yet to embrace water transportation as an alternative to go on a fun boat ride to begin the year.
It's an opportunity for young people and everybody to come together and jolly to start a good new year. I want to encourage all Lagosians to please try and start exploring other means of transportation, which includes the waterways. The same way we are using the new train now, I want to encourage Lagosians to please continue to use this waterway.
This is also seen as a form of tourism with an assurance of safety on the waterway.
Lagos tourism is going higher. This is to show you that Black Ferry, in conjunction with Lagos State government, can go to any length to get you entertained.
A resident from Ikorodu, who's a regular passenger, appeals to government to address the issue of water hyacinth, which blocks the path of boats and other vessels when in season.
The government will look for a permanent solution so that they can solve the water hyacinth matters on the Ikorodu waterways. I expect more from the government, and I expect more boats, more safety boats, and more regulations.
The daily traffic situation on Lagos roads is as a result of the high volume of vehicles. Unfortunately, the ever-busy Third Mainland Bridge will be closed for repairs for about 6 weeks, and residents are advised to use the waterways to reduce the man-hours spent on the road.
Traffic management and transportation takes the first pillar and is very, very deliberate. This is because when you solve the mobility issues around the movement of Lagosians and the business of Lagos, you are already achieving about 50 or 60% of the solutions to the Lagosians problem. So all the 24 routes we are running across Lagos State Waterway, we have all our passengers covered with insurance. That's another way of giving the confidence to the passenger that whatever happens, I am covered.
The Lagos State government is encouraging more residents to see the waterways as a safe mode of transportation and use their safety jackets before boarding any boat.
Now to Oyo State, where residents of Ibadan, the state capital, are calling on Governor Seyi Makinde to keep up the good work in the area of infrastructure provision as more interlinked roads connecting towns are being constructed. Speaking to Channels Television, the various areas of Ibadan, the residents commend the state government for opening up other towns in Ogun, Oyo, Ogbomoso and other zones to improve commerce and develop agriculture in agrarian communities. They call on the government as well to expedite action on fixing damaged roads within Ibadan metropolis.
Infrastructure supports the development of civilization worldwide. That's from a popular quote. Here in Oyo State, there are ongoing construction work on roads at various sites, contributing to the overall infrastructural development of the state. From the ongoing circular road project in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, to the completed Moniya-Iseyin Road, the Oyo-Iseyin Road, to roads in Ogbomoso, no zone is left behind in the quest to provide an effective road network. All adjoining towns are being linked to the state capital in the ongoing sustainable development roadmap of the Makinde administration, and residents attest to this.
I must confess the governor of this state is doing fantastically well when it comes to the area of road. You know, when I got to Ibadan, I said, wow, I got to some places that before I've been to before, and when I see them now, I practically don't want to recognize the areas.
Beyond the support, they want more efforts to be channeled into fixing bad roads within Ibadan city, as some are in dire shape.
A lot of interlink roads are to be worked on, especially on the state level, but a lot of work has been done on that. And some of them that they are supposed to have worked on have not been really worked on. They've been dropped.
We want them especially to put their eye on rural areas. I mean, let's develop areas in Oyo State. Take for example, Igbo-Lonyi Road is very bad. All these areas are where we want our government to put eye and make sure that they have a good access to their environment.
The government had awarded contracts to fix inner roads within Ibadan late last year, but work is yet to commence. Residents hope government would mobilize the contractor to move to site and begin work on the damaged roads soon. Bukola Oriowo, Channels Television News.
And joining us on the program now is the Commissioner for Works in Oyo State, Professor Daud Shangodoyin. Thank you for making out the time to be with us.
Good afternoon, and thank you also.
A very good afternoon to you. Let's begin, if we may, from how things stand at the moment. Can you give us an update on the various infrastructure projects being carried out by the government of Oyo State?
Thank you so much. Firstly, let me just take you down to the memory lane to say that in May 2019, when His Excellency resumed office as governor of Oyo State, we did the audit of the road constructed by the previous administration and found that it was only completed only 33.795 kilometers. That was as at May 29, 2019. Now, between May 29, 2019 and now, we have completed 179.22 kilometers. Now, these roads include the ones that we have used to link zones to improve the zonal interconnectivity in Oyo State. We've linked Ibadan zone to Okeogun zone. We have equally linked Okeogun zone to Oyo zone. We are working on linking Ogbomoso and Okeogun zone, and equally Ibadan and Ibarapa zone. We are equally working on linking the Okeogun and Ibarapa zone. Now, having done that, we only also focused on improved transportation system within the cities, major cities in Oyo State. So last year, precisely December 22nd, we awarded the inner routes within Ibadan 95.58 kilometers across Ibadan, which by God's grace, this month the contractors must move to site. Now, what are we looking at? We are actually looking at how to improve ease of doing business within the cities. Also, we've heard from our people that some of the roads are actually 35, 20 years old. So there's no maintenance that can actually assist these roads anymore. So we are going to do total rehabilitation of these roads, and we are starting within Ibadan main city. Let me give you the statistics. The Ibadan main city trunk B road has 251 kilometers. Ibadan main city trunk B road. Now we are working on 95.58, which means we are working on 38% of the Ibadan main city trunk B road now. And the time, the duration for this completion of this road is this year, 12 months. 12 months. Lot 1 is 12 months, which is 70.44 kilometers. Lot 2 is 10 kilometers plus, which is around 6 months. And then lot 3 is 14 kilometers, it's 8 months. So within this year, we'll have completed the inner roads that we awarded last year.
Now, you preempted my next question, but maybe you may want to touch on it again. We hear that more than a couple of inner city roads in Ibadan need repair. How soon can residents expect this to get done, and how big of a scale is that problem of inner city roads that need rehabilitation?
Firstly, when you do maintenance of roads, it should be roads that actually you can maintain, and over maybe 2-3 years, you will not have any issue to touch. We've accessed these roads, like I said, within the Ibadan main city, 95.58 kilometers. All of them, they are the least that I can say is was constructed 20 years ago. So there's no way we'll do maintenance. So we are working on total rehabilitation. And how soon? Within 12 months, meaning this year, 2024, we will have completed all these 95.58 kilometers. Now, on the impact, well, we are going to make sure that, of course, our target on road infrastructure is to expand the economy. So we are going to have some strategy that when we commence these roads, it will not impact much on the movement of goods and movement of our people within Ibadan City.
Yes. Now, Professor, Honorable Commissioner, flooding has been a problem not just in Oyo State, but in the southwest and other parts of the country as well. We can expect the next flood season to come. When it does, as far as ensuring proper road construction that includes proper drainage systems, clearing of canals, is there a game plan for you? How far along are you going to preempt these situations when they appear?
Thank you so much. 2023, we found that over the country, we had floods all over, but in Ibadan and in Oyo State in particular, we did not record any serious flooding because the IUFMP projects are almost completed in Ibadan. Why? Because we've opened some canals We actually dredged some river courses all over Badan and also completed a number of these water channelization. So what we are working on now, which apart will be the final part of it, is the one across Oduona area in Ibadan City, which in April, latest April ending, will have completed it. Now, for the roads, we've identified some bridges and also some culverts, some hydraulic systems that actually can impact on the flow of the water flow in Ibadan City. Let me give you an example. Now, right now, we are working on Olodo Beach. Olodo Beach now, in the next 2 months, will be opened to traffic, and we will have completed one part of the bridge itself. So the coming rain in 2024, we are ready because we've opened all the channels for the river to flow, and as well as we actually looked at our new road construction, that all the drainage, including the hydraulics on the part of our new roads, they will be constructed in a way that will give free flow of water to the main course.
Okay, we hope all these plans come to fruition. Now, we thank you for being on the program today, the Honorable Commissioner for Works in Oyo State. Thank you, Professor Daud Shogodoyi. Thank you so much for being on the program today.
Thank you so much.
You're watching Newsroom series, and we're focusing on the Southwest region today. When we come back, more on Oyo State, as well as Oyo State government holding a meeting with education stakeholders as the new school sessions begin. Please stay with us. Welcome back. The Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, has flagged off the distribution of 15,000 free reflective jackets to commercial motorcycle riders in the state. The governor says that the exercise is to ensure safety and adequate security of all citizens, noting that security of lives and property is one of the strategic pillars in the roadmap for sustainable development. The governor spoke to the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Professor Mushibao Babatunde, at the flag-off ceremony organized by the Management Information Center, Office of the Governor, held at the Western Hall Secretariat, Ibadan.
Safety of Oyo State residents while commuting across the state capital is top priority for the state government, especially those patronizing commercial motorbikes. In a bid to ensure the year 2024 begins safely for this category of commuters, including the riders, the state governor, represented by the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Professor Musbah Babatunde, is distributing reflective jackets with unique identifiers and barcode, in addition to registration with Oyo State Health Insurance Agency. 15,000 reflective jackets are given free of charge to riders across the state in the first phase of the distribution exercise.
We can actually be able to monitor the activities of the Okada riders. So anyone who doesn't wear this reflective jacket and they definitely is not a registered Okada member should be challenged, and the security agency should actually take cognizance of this particular initiative of His Excellency.
This gesture is coming just in time as motorcycle riders in Oyo State are described as major contributors to the state's economy.
There must be database registration of all Okada riders in Oyo State, and that's what we are seeing today. On his own, he has given them 15,000 reflective jackets, and more are still coming.
Ochma, we actually enforce, but like the representative of His Excellency said, it's going to be after the window expiration of the window periods given. And the process is just scanning the barcode and identify who will be offender and pay whatever is the fine or whatever is the penalty for the offense committed.
Grateful for this safety initiative, the leadership of the motorcyclists promised to cooperate with government to ensure compliance.
Not that the government is trying to make money from this. The government wants the society to be safe. And for us to be safe, we have to be secured. So I think we should put on the jacket and so that we will be able to expose the criminals using Okada for operation.
The state government also called for sustained cooperation between the commercial motorcycle riders and the government in order to improve the security of the state and its economy.
And as public primary and secondary schools in Oyo State resume for the second term academic session, the Oyo State government has warned head teachers and principals against unethical practices, especially illegal fee collection, saying such acts of violation will be sanctioned. State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology handed down the warning in Abeokuta, the state capital, during the second term resumption engagement with stakeholders held at the Lisabi Grammar School in the state capital.
The Oyo State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology is once again engaging stakeholders in the sector on modalities being put in place to ensure a smooth takeoff of the second session, especially teaching and learning process, as the second term of the 2023-2024 academic session begins. Participants here include the State Commissioner for Education, other officials of the ministry, heads of schools and principals, and security operatives to rub minds on the best ways to improve the learning environment. Addressing participants, the Commissioner reiterates the need for improved quality assurance, warning against unethical practices.
Maintain government's policies, abide by policies and programs of the government, and that you should, as much as possible, ensure that you desist from illegal collections and that you don't introduce anything that is not part of what we have tried you to do.
The meeting also took a cursory look at the security situation at various schools with a view towards finding workable solutions to breaches.
We need to always make sure that we bring this to the notice of government, and that is by harping on it all the time. We must not sit on our oars. Whatever we think the government can do to assist us in securing our schools, we must ensure that we bring it to the knowledge of our government. We engage in services from time to time of security experts to conduct regular security assessment of our schools' vulnerabilities. This assessment will help identify areas in need of improvement and allow for the implementation of proactive security measures. 3. Strengthen access control measures. Ensure that access to the school premises is strictly controlled and regulated.
Some of the participants commend the state government for its investments in the education sector, including recruitment of teachers.
The government is investing much heavily in education. Their investment includes making sure that all students are being asked to go back to schools. Number 2, part of their investment is that they make sure that all structures that are dilapidated are being renovated. Over 2,000 teachers, both primary school and secondary school, are now being absorbed through the 2 years tenure internship that they did as at 2 years ago.
Other efforts by the Oyo State government are geared towards the reduction of the numbers of out-of-school children and place them across the 513 public secondary schools and 1,654 public primary schools across the 3 senatorial districts of the state.
That's it from Newsroom Southwest. But just before we go, President Bola Tinubu has suspended the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betu Suspension, from office with immediate effect. The president has further directed the EFCC chairman to conduct a thorough investigation into all transactions involving the ministry. Dr. Betu Suspension has been asked to hand over her principal responsibilities, her responsibilities to the permanent secretary in the ministry. The suspension of Dr. Betu Suspension follows her memo to the Accountant General of the Federation requesting the payment of over 500 million naira into a private account for distribution to vulnerable groups in Akwa Ibom, Cross River State, Ogun State, and Lagos States. And that is it on Newsroom Series today. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.